Yesterday, Bitcoin had a crazy pump towards the previous all-time high of $73,000, and this is insane, of course. And yesterday we had one of the most insane days of trading into the Bitcoin ETFs. We see a lot of interesting news coming into the market and a lot of interesting formations are unfolding for Bitcoin on the charts. So in this video I will discuss everything with you and what we can expect for Bitcoin in the coming days. We are coming closer and closer to the previous all-time high, and today we could break it. But first, something needs to happen, which I will discuss with you in this video. I will also have a look at the two altcoins, Cardano and Bittensor TAO, because they also show a lot of interesting price action. So please watch this video all the way to the end. Don't forget to slap up that like button, and let's dive right into the charts. So as I was saying, yesterday we saw a huge pump for Bitcoin. We gained these previous resistance areas to the top side, and this was looking very bullish, and everyone thought that we will stop here at this next big resistance because this was the first big resistance to break around the $72,000. But Bitcoin decided to pump also to this huge resistance area, and then we came to the next big resistance area, which was the last resistance area before the previous all-time high. And we can now see a little bit of a retracement back to the previous resistance to maybe turn it into support. But of course we could also see a little bit of a lower retracement because this previous resistance hasn't been tested as support yet. So this could all happen today, and we could probably see a bounce from this level, or of course we can go a little bit lower, and that we're coming all the way back to the $69,000 to retest this resistance as support. And from there we can just continue the topside momentum, and this will be of course very healthy price action. So if we're going to see a little bit of a dump later today or in the week, don't panic, because this is maybe the last opportunity to buy more Bitcoin for the bull market starts. And yesterday we had a crazy day for the Bitcoin ETFs. Look at how much volume is coming into the ETFs. We saw a total volume of $4.5 billion yesterday, so this was insane, and especially is leading the pack with more than $3.3 billion of volume. So this is insane, of course. And if we then look at the inflows, we can see a total inflow yesterday of $870.1 million. So this is insane. And especially BlackRock was buying for almost $750 million. So this is where the pump of Bitcoin started. And let's see if today we can see another huge day of this huge inflow for the Bitcoin ETFs. And if we have a look at the total cumulative inflow, we can see that spike to the top side, and we can see an exponential move, what hasn't been seen before. But in the beginning we saw this exponential move as well, and now we are seeing this spike to the top side, and we're coming closer and closer to this $25 billion mark. So this is the reason why Bitcoin is pumping, and we can see a lot of inflows into the Bitcoin ETF. So this is a crazy day, and in the last weeks we only saw positive days. We only saw one red day, so this is extremely bullish for Bitcoin. And if we then have a short look at the Ethereum ETFs, we can see a little bit of a bullish day yesterday. BlackRock was buying for $13.6 million and Grayscale was selling for $6 million, which lead us to a total inflow of $7.6 million. So this was having a little bit of a positive day for the Ethereum ETFs. And if we then zoom out to the daily time frame for Bitcoin, we can see that this big resistance trend line was unfolding for Bitcoin. We broke it to the top side. We made a perfect bullish retest, and from this bullish retest I said that you could enter the market for Bitcoin in a long, because this resistance has been tested as support, and from this level you could have made an interesting gain of almost 10% for Bitcoin. So this is an insane trade to make, of course. So congratulations if you took this trade together with me, and this is looking very bullish. And after this breakout of this resistance area, we're now seeing a spike to the top side, but of course we are seeing this huge horizontal resistance area was coming into play because this acted as resistance, and this was confluent with the previous all-time high. So of course it was very logical that we saw a little bit of resistance coming into the market, but this was your first take profit place, and then after that this previous all-time high was also your take profit place. So you could have made an interesting trade on Bitcoin after this breakout. And I'm always showing this chart to you in my videos, and this is the chart where Bitcoin shifted from a downtrend into a huge uptrend on the daily time frame. We can now see an exponential move happening, and we have created a new higher high. So possibly we could potentially throw back a little bit, create a higher low from here, and again we want to then see a spike to the top side, and then we will just continue the bullish uptrend to the top side. So this could be a very healthy price action for Bitcoin. So don't panic when we see a little bit of a drop, because if we're going to drop a little bit, I want to buy more Bitcoin, because in an uptrend I am buying every dip. And this is how you become rich in the crypto space, because every time we see a little bit of a dip in an uptrend, I'm buying more and I'm selling a little bit on the top. So every time we create a higher low, I am buying more and I sell a little bit of it when we are creating a higher high. And then again, I'm buying back again in a higher low and again and again. And I do this over and over again. And this is how you make money in the crypto space. So for now, Bitcoin is creating a new higher high, and we also gained these previous highs. So now the road to the previous all-time high is open. And we also saw a lot of interesting news coming into the market. We saw that Saudi Arabia is going to host BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, Citibank and other top financial leaders this week in Riyadh. So they are talking about Bitcoin, and it is interesting to see, because imagine if all the oil countries are going to enter Bitcoin. And so that will give us a lot of volume into Bitcoin, and it will also bump up the price even more because there is a lot of buying pressure coming into the market. And also Michael Saylor has been investing in Bitcoin through MicroStrategy, and their investment is now at an 8.4 billion in unrealized profit. And he is saying that he is not going to sell anytime soon. So this is of course very bullish for Bitcoin. And we need a lot of companies to buy more Bitcoin, because it only will pump up the price for Bitcoin even more. So let's see if, for instance, Microsoft will also buy more Bitcoin. And this could also ignite a huge run if a lot of companies are going to buy Bitcoin, just like MicroStrategy. And if we then look at this huge broadening wedge for Bitcoin, I've been discussing this broadening wedge for Bitcoin a lot with you. We can see a lot of touch points on the lower side as support and on the top side as resistance. And earlier this week we broke out to the top side, so this is looking very bullish. And this was the last big trendline resistance we needed to break in order to create a huge break to the top side. And now we only just need to gain this previous all-time high, but potentially we could also see a little bit of a throwback to test this previous resistance as support. From here we could make a higher low for Bitcoin, and then we can just continue the bullish uptrend to the top side, and then we can create new highs. So Bitcoin is still in this huge uptrend on the daily time frame, and we're only seeing a lot of exponential moves happening. So let's see if Bitcoin can see a little bit of a retracement. From this place you want to enter the market in the long, and then you can aim for higher targets. And let's then zoom out all the way to the monthly time frame. We can see that Bitcoin is ready to make a new exponential move to the top side, just like we saw in the previous cycles. We saw a little bit of a consolidation around the previous all-time high, just like we saw here and here in the previous cycle. And now we did it as well in this cycle. So let's see if Bitcoin can also see a huge exponential move and then create new highs. And if we're going to break to the top side, we could potentially see a little bit of a similar move like this. And if we're going to have a similar move like in the previous cycle, we can probably see more of an increase than 400%, and it will bring us to the more than $330,000. So let me know in the comments if you think Bitcoin can make this huge exponential move in the coming months, and that we're going to see levels around the $330,000. So this could be insane, of course. And the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Bittensor TAO. I've been talking about Bittensor TAO a lot on my socials, and after a huge dump we saw that TAO was reaching this support, and I've been telling you that I had a limit order at this huge support area, and we touched this area perfectly, and from there we saw a nice bounce to the top side. So I hope you took this trade together with me, because from this bullish retest we saw an increase of more than 15%. So this was a very beautiful trade to make. And after this huge dump we are now seeing a little bit of a bearish retest, because this previous support is getting turned into resistance, and we're seeing a little bit of a rejection already. So we could come back to this lower side, and of course we could also probably go back to this previous resistance area that was not being turned into support yet. So this area hasn't been tested yet as support. So we could potentially also see more lower levels for Bittensor TAO, and that we're coming all the way back to this level. So if TAO is going back to this level, I'm also going to buy more TAO for the long term, because if we're going to retest this level, I think this will be a very strong level and we will see a huge bounce to the top side. So for instance, if you are buying at this level and you want to trade it to the next level, then you're already in a profit of more than 33%. So this could also be a very interesting trade for TAO to make. So keep an eye out on this chart, because if we're going to see more downside for TAO, this is the place where you want to buy more. And the next interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Cardano. Cardano is in this huge consolidation formation to the downside, and we see a lot of touch points on the top side as resistance and also on the lower side as support. And currently we saw a little bit of a bounce from this level, so now we are seeing a spike to the top side. But of course, eventually this consolidation formation is coming to an apex, and we want to see a huge breakout very soon. So for instance, if we're going to break to the top side, we want to see a retest of the resistance to turn it into support, and then we can aim for high targets. And then the huge breakout target for Cardano of this formation will be around the top side of the formation, which is confluent with the 52 cents. Of course, there's also a bearish scenario possible that we're going to see a break below this level, a retest of the support to turn it into resistance, and then aim for lower levels. But we don't want to see that, because then we have to go back to bear market lows around the 20 cents, and that's not what we want to see. So of course, let's see if Cardano can see a little bit more bullish price action, and if we're going to see more topside momentum from here. And we also had some news coming into the market for Cardano, and that was that the founder of Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, he just reversed his stance on Bitcoin and announced that Cardano is going to be a layer 1, and they are going to pivot to become a Bitcoin layer 2. So this could have a very bullish effect on the price of Cardano in the coming months, and I still have a lot of faith that Cardano will see a lot of new all-time highs in the coming months. So please give a like if you think this video was useful. Don't forget to follow me on my other socials, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.